Love and friendship is the portal that gives meaning to life. To love is to place our happiness in the happiness of another. I never knew how to I never knew how to worship until I knew how to love. But love can be an illusion when it comes to greed and money. Now, the best way to keep your friends is not to give them away. Judas obviously did not understand that. Maybe Judas really was not a friend of Jesus and he didn't know that. Or maybe he did know it and just tried to hide it. You see, Judas does not realize just how important it is to maintain friendships. Judas is one of Jesus' 12 disciples. He's been chosen by Jesus to stand and walk with him and teach others. Judas is also the treasurer. And the treasurer is supposed to be someone that you can trust to do the right thing. But this treasurer decides he's going to plot to betray Jesus. Now, Judas goes to the highly trained leaders of his time to make a bargain with them. He knew they wanted Jesus, and he was willing to give him up. So, he says to them, "What are you willing to give me if I hand Jesus over to you?" So these men place before Judas 30 silver coins. Then Judas at that moment begins looking for the opportunity to betray Jesus. If this were to happen to any of you, how would you feel? A story is told of an entire family killed by only a living survivor who wanted to inherit the bank account. A husband and wife build a future by selling airplanes to farmers needing to water their crops. The couple has two children, a son and a daughter. The couple lives modestly, but they have given their children a decent life, many things that they probably wanted that they didn't need. But the son is disillusioned. He's always showing off his fine clothes. He's always carrying $100 bills in his pocket, and he drives a Mercedes Benz. He even goes so far as to tell his friends and others who would listen how he started and built the company his mother and father owned. You see, lying will get you everywhere with gullible people. Any fool can tell the truth, but it requires a man of some sense to know how to lie well. Samuel Butler. This son knew how to lie well. One afternoon, while his parents and sister were away from their home, the son plotted with another man to have his family killed. Judas and this son are two of a kind. They plot to kill for money. Money and status will cause people to do some very dark things to other people. There is no passion, there is no fire like passion. There is no snare like folly. There is no torment like greed. Judas sought to find the opportune time to betray Jesus. Some of you have been betrayed, and you know what it feels like. Perhaps you have betrayed someone you called friend or a family member. What did that feel like? Self-interest is truly the law of self-preservation. What makes us think of only ourselves when we do something like this? What is it about us that makes us hand oneself over to this kind of darkness and perhaps real evil just to gain money? Judas didn't stop to think about the consequences of his actions. He only thought about the gain of his success. Why is it that most people never give thought about the consequences of their actions? Now, this is an opportunity that abounds, both for Jesus and for Judas. How can you place yourself in this story this morning? That is, how can you join the people in this event and gain some insight into your own faults? Who do you identify with in this Palm Sunday story? Who is Jesus to you today in the 21st century? How do you feel about the events of the story? What personal insights are you gaining by being part of this story? Now, Judas is sitting at the table with Jesus eating, and Jesus finally reveals to the others that one of them is about to betray him. So the Son of Man makes it clear that he is now about to go to his fate. All of this is occurring because this is part of the divine plan according to God's love for humanity. This occurrence is the turning point in Christianity. It is the beginning of life and sacrifice, not only for Jesus who will be crucified, but for us who believe in his life. Jesus' sacrificial suffering is tragic. But life is tragic for many of us. There are days that you and I get up, move about in this life or world, whatever, and you wonder, why is this happening to you? Why is this happening to you? You don't always have answers to that, but we still ask the question, why? God's best gifts are not things, but opportunities. What we call adversity, God calls an opportunity. Judas gave Jesus the opportunity to go to the cross. While those leaders were looking for an opportunity to kill Jesus, Jesus was anticipating the opportunity to obey his Father and bring him glory. The song says, "All glory, laud, and honor to you, our redeeming King." Jesus is our redeeming King. He gave his life. He sacrificed his whole existence so that you and I might come to have salvation. Jesus walked that long road to Calvary so that he might understand that the sufferings that you and I go through, that he would endure and save us from it. Suffering is not simple. It is a very difficult thing to deal with and handle. But because of the love of Jesus Christ, you and I have been redeemed. We have been spared. And even though you and I do indeed feel and go through suffering, you and I can know that in the reality of this life, that this Jesus who has gone to the cross for your life and my life and for the life of humanity, we can believe that we are spared and we are freed. All glory, laud, and honor to you, our redeeming King. You are our redeeming King. And may you and I forever and forever consistently and constantly keep this before us, because without his life, without his death, you and I, people of this world, don't have the true freedom that comes from salvation. May it be the Lord's will for you and I to continue to walk and sacrifice as he did, so that we too might share his life and story with others, so that they too might come to know our God. Let us pray. God, we thank you for the life that you gave your Son, who came and walked on the face of this earth 2,000 years ago to give us salvation and freedom. And because he has done that, dear God, we always have the choice to serve you, to love you, to hold you up, and to claim you as our Redeemer. Thank you, dear God. Thank you for all that you do for us, even when we can't thank you ourselves.